Taking fights nice and early. Juan Fletcher trying to take some duels, but actually 5 CTs around the other corner, and HEET are going to try and chase these players down. Knows that they gushed up Rigon, so one player weakened within this A bomb site. And they've taken a lot of room, but immediately pumped the brakes, just forcing Bad News Eagles back.
We saw yesterday as well in the ESL Challenger League, the Bad News Eagles can sometimes just start to push through when it's even Steven, and maybe that's what HEET was waiting for. The problem is, it doesn't matter if Rigon and Juan Fletcher are going to hit shots like that. Maka, the only one to respawn, and by the time Juan Fletcher is getting involved, Maka is going to be taken down soon after. Synopsy and Scenario to finish things off, and it's as easy as can be. No bomb plant either. Suspicious about the corner in the smoke, and as he starts to lie in wait, this might just be a walkthrough queued up for HEET. 50 seconds, the smoke is dissipating. Scenario tries to take the peek forward, good for 1 damage onto the second. Maka feeling worse for wear.
GXX does rotate into the bomb site in time, but flashes are going to make it a little bit awkward. Molotov at his feet as well, so forced back, and the blinding flashes just keep on raining in. He get some good distance on the bomb site, but not before Synopsy and Juan Fletcher answer back with a couple. So now the flank being sussed out, that's a big kill to find. And they can actually try and run this bomb away, but Joko standing his ground. Synopsy was already low. One-on-one fight with Juan Fletcher inside the site, and that's the bomb dropped. Maka already low HP, so Juan just needs to hit the body, and he'll do exactly that. A 1-on-2 to bring a 3rd round for BNE. Bouncing straight through them. Rigon taking close angle on short. And with that smoke as well, it's going to make it very hard for the AWP of Maka to scale in. Flashes are great, but Rigon's just dodging every single one of them, so it doesn't matter. 1 kill's not going to quite cut it. Lucky's the only one that finds an entry, and they are trapped. They need to get this bomb down. Smokes are gone, and that bomb is dropped just as swiftly. HEET, it's again one of these A plays that effectively ends up with nothing. No plants have come in for this HEET squad. Had an eagle omelet either, but HEET are probably chomping at the bit.
Oh, beautiful shot coming out from Maka. GXX has just been completely decimated. Synopsy wants to go for the repeat over, but does he truly dare when Maka's on the other side of things? Maka decides to not take the duel any longer, and Joko's legs might be bleeding, but he still comes out on top of the duel. Juan Fletcher, the only one to actually have a response, and with Rigon still heavily committed to the A-bomb site. Juan Fletcher pushing all the way through. He's trying to find these players on the rotate backwards, but only to be discovered by Mr. Razbataz himself. Really got some bad Molotovs around here.
Yeah, kind of just winging them in a few places, it seems like. But this is looking like the first round here for HEET. That Molotov didn't look like it was going to hit anybody, really. But Joko somehow burned to the flames. So now from a 2-on-4 to a 2-on-3, I think BNE are tempted to give this a shot.
They've got money as well to work with. So, yep, you're right. Temptation's definitely going to be there. Smoke at the ready. Ecstasy, he's gone. Flashbang or not, Scenario will still get the frag. Smoke quickly deployed so that his teammate has a bit more of a chance. And Rigon inside of it is going for the defuse. No chance whatsoever. Raz will continue the Mataz and
fight, and the hit's going to come in quick.
Oh, Rigon's trying to get aggressive from behind that smoke as a result of it. Trying to get there before HEET can really pull the trigger, and HEET have hesitated. In that hesitation, allowing a lot more players to rotate back over. Razmo's gone. Rigon wants to try and continue through, but off on the other side, there was no chance for him to really provide, and Maka peeking forward will be overrun and overwhelmed with this. Only 1 player left alive, and even he's not able to get a frag. HEET are getting completely dusted here on Vertigo.
Yeah.
They don't need to, apparently. On flash route. Did get aggressive enough to see there was no one on the stairs, if I'm not wrong. And now GXX, there's no flashbang to force him off the angle. We'll end up finding the first. Synopsy as well, not blocked off. And Rigon still alive as Synopsy was covering him off. The second I mentioned that he's not gone down once without a kill. Well, that's what happens, but time is low. And Marcus actually does have a chance to plant the bomb, but will not actually exercise. He thinks Scenario is close by, can't get it done. Is it my fault the 6th time?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure, right? Gotta keep the record clean.
The audacity.
Oh my god, these grenades, they're barely touching Synopsy at this stage. The amount of utility that he's managed to soak up here while still being healthy. In the meanwhile, Scenario's found an isolated Lucky, so he knows this isn't going to be a B bomb side execute late round. One Fluxer being discovered by Exorcist is really just a location for GXX has given up back to a 2-on-2, so possibility is once again worthy of exploring for Heat, but they are so hesitant in all of their moves and all of their decisions. Joko going right back to the CT tarp. He's in a fantastic position, but he's not got that much HP to work off of, so at this stage, if Scenari is able to Molotov off the player on the bomb itself, Joko grenaded as well. 5 HP is all he's got left. It almost takes him down, but with a quad kill, they do go ahead and pick up their second round.
Wow, there is somebody holding for it.
Speaking of low and behold, Exorcist is now holding B.
Oh, real chance at a free kill, and now getting peppered from both sides. Scenari unable to convert on it, and the nade will chunk Exorcist down. Juan Flatru does well to do some damage, but Mark is there to cut down his rotate and his help as well. So now it's just a lonely Rigon. And, well, Egon have to save. But somehow Scenari missed more. So sometimes that's just how it goes. They need to try and finish off some frags. Rigon will at least convert on Lucky, but will not bring that rifle forward. So
Spamming away does reveal the presence of the scout. That'll be putting Mako on high alert. There's a scope around here. I better take it down soon. He knows his responsibilities and he wants to own up to them soon. Flashbang will not matter. Still, Synopsy holding out a very tight angle. And as he peeks forward, both Oppers missing out the opportunities. Exorcist, however, there to punish. And as Scenari is caught out of the flank, Juan Fletcher will do no better. 2 on 5. And Bad News Eagles have really dropped the ball, it feels like, to let Heat end out this half on 5 rounds. We're off to a break to figure out where Heat can go in the second. We'll be back after just a bit. Have it in them on the CT side.
ooh, nice quick kill there from Rigon to kick off the affair, and Lucky's going to have to try and hold on to this bomb site best he can. First kill's there onto Rigon, and counter kill could be coming in quick for the Bad News Eagle squad. No, Dooley's reign supreme, and over at B, Mako will have a similar success, but only for one. Rasmo does make his way to the back of the bomb site in time, and there are 2 players coming his way nice and fast, but rotates and help are coming their way as well. Synopsy does eventually deal with that pesky site player, but he's still got bomb on back and has enough time to reset either direction, and so he's going to try and play the mind game, the long con for Joko and Lucky, all while hitting hops along the way.
Accelerate soon. Synopsy, I think he might be playing with the idea of, hey, is there maybe a deagle or something here? But no, he's waiting for them to start pushing forward. Knows where they're coming in from. First one not looking out for him. Joko is, though. Good old, always let the second man peek the corner.
So you want to make sure those extremities are kept under lock and key, which they didn't do too well at securing.
Rigon can't access Heat, and he's not done yet. The B-bomb site is his domain. And as Bad News Eagles have realized that, well, they want to share some of it. Bomb will be planted very soon, but before that's done, Synopsy will find another frag and make it to the CTs who are thinking about saving will be questioning their economic decisions as they lose out their life slowly, very slowly.
Those 2 fights. It's a weird way to contrast these 2 squads, but that's the kind of firepower that I think this team has very much been known to sort of contribute to international Counter-Strike. I think last time as well, Rigon boosting left side, this time over to the right, and Shadow could have been spotted there from Rasmo. Not sure that Rigon could have seen it through that smoke, though, and now just moving in with the flashes, taking Sanctuary inside of that smoke and actually pathing through it. The spray transfer not going to connect on it. Synopsy and GXX will now activate on the secondary prong of the assault. SMG over, Synopsy with 1, but GXX wasn't close behind him. No quick trade available, but Lucky may think he's a little safer than he actually is, taking deeper and deeper position inside of spawn and hoping that he can catch out a potential rotate, but GXX does exactly that himself. Maka's still not convinced it's a B play, and if he had the information we do, there's no doubt in my mind he would have prioritized that B fight.
Up in the mist hole in the meanwhile. Time's ticking down low. Maka's not got much of it left, and GXX will just be taking the peek and disabling any possibility of a defuse.
Yeah, I wasn't sure this was even going to be a round where GXX had to even look at that post plant, actions.
Akko's Lucky, but Synopsy not too far behind. Joker's able to trade, and this is where we start to wonder this B lean that Heat are prioritizing how long are they actually going to be holding on to it for. And Maka was keeping an eye out for it. He'd spotted out the boost initially while it was being set up. Even gets a second on top of it all. And B-lean or not, that mid presence is too much for the Eagles to deal with. Now they'll have to fade away, recover the bomb, and see whether there's still a chance left in this round for them, or is Heat going to find that gun round.
Still enough time to try and figure something out. They are splitting up, and they're going to actually allow Rigon to serve as distraction. Bomb is still situated outside of the A-bomb site, but some noise being made by Joko on a potential rotation, so they're going to believe that this has fully been bought into, and they'd be right in that assumption. Rigon's just left to his own devices, nobody committing out, no one overfacing here on the Heat side. Finally, someone trails back, and that will be Joko, but turned the wrong direction. No one watching the left side of Gen, and Rigon gets both. Not what you wanted to see have happen. 10 seconds to get this bomb down, and while Rigon finally gets sussed out, Scenario has enough room to plant. Molly down, Joko trying to throw some urgency at him, but Scenari converts on the headshot. A round that looked like it was in the palm of Heat's hand, completely pulled out of it.
Every single bit of work those mid players are able to do is just immaterial there.
In middle, so it's almost no reason for it. Yeah. Strange circumstances, but yeah, cluttered comms looking like. Rasmo won't mess around with his Deeg. One kill does get found. Rigon gets a double before blinded up and finished off. Rasmo's Deeg is still hitting shots, so 2-on-2, and the 5-7 lethal. Got a weapon on Lucky's hands, so now it's GXX to clutch, and a 1-on-2 where shoulders are offered up. Can't hit the timing.
Yeah, GXX, maybe another opportunity given up to him. That 1-on-2, but he misses out again. Maka has just got the moves, man. He's just got too many of them.
Never jiggle peek on timing. Never jiggle peek in rhythm. You could see he was trying to...
Missing out on a potential chance for a nutty entry is Rigon. Synopsy in the meanwhile done to Rasmo what was done to them instead. Once more action. It's only XSCs you've got to deal with, and Scenari will make short work of him. Mincemeat is on the menu, and Rigon is serving it right up. Kill after kill, and Heat. Well, you can't really complain about getting anti-eco'd right after. Maybe Marcus still got a chance for this one. He has to find these shots fast. One flat through, down and out. And over and done with, dusted completely. Scenari now left in a 1-on-1, not an opportunity that Marcus should have had at all.
Other than just finding the kill.
Although Scenari does have it for a 1, so that smoke might not exactly be Marcus' best friend here either, and as he starts to go tap it out, the time is ticking down. Scenari will reveal his position being back in sandbags. I do believe that Marca will not be spotted out in this spot, but he's trying to take the aggressive angle. He's made some noise as well. The 10-second mark is coming in. A single point of HP. That's all Marca's got. The nice spin missed as well. The 1-on-3. Marca even gets the kill to top it all out. 9 secure and a lifeline. A lifeline thrown to sinking Frenchmen.
I mean, a 1-on-3 that is just so...
Want to go for the boost once again, as Rigon's found another kill in the meanwhile. One flat true has to be careful. Rigon's tried this so many times over. Apparently, it's a ye old Facebook because it works every time. Pull out your gun. One, pull out your gun. We'll get the frag, but gotta say, it looked a little bit scary.
I mean, got caught quick switching, but first bullet that came out of the chamber is another headshot, so very sharp to the draw, and I think the fact that Rigon got that kill elsewhere was probably what allowed them to get this kill on B. Thought if there was going to be anyone entering B, it would have been him. San Juan Flatterer can do it just as well. Lucky, nice headshot, but that was the low HP player on what remains of this B&E roster, and the lurk of GXX gets sussed out. Lucky, unable to convert on a second, but these players are within an inch of their life.
Scenari's so low that even if that smoke hits him, he will be dead, but now players have been revealed. Maka so worried about a flank coming in, he doesn't realize if he does, turns around in time. Maka still going, 10 seconds on the clock, it's all turning out all roses and daisies, but Rigon is not a man of flower, he is a man of power.
I can't believe he even got that kill on behind. He's doing circles, you know, he's spinning around in 360s.
Smoke down as well. They're trying to line up from behind it, but Bad News Eagles will accelerate, swooping down at top speed, and as the airspace is occupied, it is Synopsy to try and bloody it up a little bit. Joko and Rasmo opening it up, and they're gonna keep it going. GXX and Rigon are wondering, what? I'm sorry. We leave you alone for 2 minutes, and this is what happens? So any kills to come through fast from the Bad News Eagles side becomes all the more impressive and all the more important. Molotov out for Sandbags, flashbang set up, and they're pushing him down, but GXX is bulldozing them right over. He goes. Maka's alone. Another one-on-one. Is it going to be? Is it meant to be? Maka in hot pursuit. The 10-second mark, tagging away, but he just can't get it done. GXX to close it out. 16th found. The Bad News Eagles will win out the map versus Heat. Question is, can they do it again on their own? It's ENCE coming up after this small break. More players coming this way, at least not anytime soon. Rigon dodges out the flash and fades away. In the meanwhile, push is coming in from B Cave instead, where Joko's been pushed back. Lucky still fighting it out with the duel. He's trying to duel and take more place and more space. It's Rasmo to actually come into effect. Now Rigon all alone. Very similar circumstances to what the Pistol Run and Vertigo looked like, and they both end up with a Heat win.
The Deeg are the B&E squad, and they'll take aggressive big control. Nate does a whole lot, and Maka's toolies keep finding damage. I mean, they were so weak by the time they got to Ecstasy, so surprised he doesn't get more, but he got dinked up and finally finished off by Juan Flatru, and with that deep smoke into A, Maka's suppressing fire won't actually deter them from actually having the space to plant.
Even Lucky being found out and taken down. God, man, Maka's probably regretting this purchase so heavily. Joko down, Maka left in a 1-on-3, as magical as he was before. I feel like he just doesn't have the one to do it with. What's that? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Grod his hands on the FAMAS and died just as quickly. So the B&E force buy prevails. They end up with more CT weapons than the CTs themselves. And Synopsy gets that kill before the smoke blooms. Exorcist wanted to just throw that nade and dip. Couldn't get to the latter portion of that. And oh my god. They look away for 1 second and Juan Flatru's shooting you in the side of the head.
Mark, I'm going to ask you something that might sound a little bit silly. Can you see any of the weapons on any of the players?
Yes, I can.
Okay, that doesn't mean just checking.
Whatever, we're just combating each other with mind bullets.
Pretty much.
Nice kill from Rasmu, and I'll get his hands on an AK as a result of that. Could see force buys on force buys to win this out, because so far so good here for Heat to counteract GXX on just the MP9, and he'll try and take control of Temple. Will be allowed to do so. Rasmo's bullets go askew, and no head armor means that MP9 is lethal. Picking up Mantle inside of Temple and gets his hands on that AK, but has to now get eyes back on that bomb coming in from Donut. Maka overwhelmed, and Joko has no kit. Smoke on the bomb, but not actually threatening the defuse as of yet. GXX is calling his bluff and going for the long wraparound play, but Joko could start to piece this one together. Starts to look around, but GXX finds the perfect timing. Joko thought for sure if he was gonna flank CT, he would have done it when he glanced, but GXX is the shadow that brings B&E the second round. Uh-oh. Snare in a bit of a pinch. Molly shouldn't spread, but Lucky getting caught throwing his own Molly. Not killed for it, though. Juan Flatru tried to punish. Lucky will still hang around. Even gets his hands on a secondary Molotov and can fall back to the bomb site alongside it. So a nice advantage to start things off here for Heat, and that advantage just gets bigger. Synopsy trying to hunt down and trade even.
It's a damage, not Joko, who's down and low, and with 18 seconds left on the clock, it feels like this is going to be a very unlikely round for them to take away. GXX does find another one, but Scenari isn't able to pair it together, so GXX will just fade back.
The angle, if he was going to trade anyone, he was, I think, hoping for GXX, found another man instead. No one else from Heat really showed up until much later into that game, and it was far too late. Lucky has given up a lot of room over at B, but does have Joko inside of Cave that will get sectioned off. Actually, Joko getting a couple of these kills. No, they didn't smoke off the Cave. Instead, just threw the smoke onto short, and that allowed just an easy sightline for Heat to get some kills right back. GXX finally dealing with the problem man, but bomb can go down, not before. Ugh, no, it doesn't even go down. Synopsy full spammed, and Lucky continues onto GXX. I'm actually surprised that they die for going for that plan. I'm
surprised Joko's going for the repeat before the smokes actually bloomed there. If his death was guaranteed, it would have made things a lot more difficult. But as the scale onto the bomb site will not be interrupted by any spam, Joko's been left to contend with Rigon. A duel he will not come out on top of. Even a secondary peek being set up from Rigon, and he's got it. He's got it out. GXX there to trade his eventual death as well, and that will be all she wrote. Maka, unable to get involved, will have to save.
For Maka to hold on to this, they challenged through CT. Would have likely fallen into him, but the chance to dive into another smoke to escape. They do section themselves into red room, and Maka's here with the AWP.
Oh, careful, Joko though. In the meanwhile, it's just picked them all up to spray. God of Joko! He's just got aces all day. Tenari, the only one to stand between Joko and that ace, and well, Lucky will just take it away from him. 6-4. What a round coming up from Joko.
Sometimes it takes a little bit of both.
That was a nice spray.
Joko full confidence now, just
yeah.
Peeking deep ramp, and they've got Deegs, and Lucky's found out the hard way. Rigon will fall right into Joko's sharp aim once again, and this time it won't be 4, instead just 1. AK retrieved, or can be as well, over to long, but they're unsure about how quick these rotates are. Exorcise keeping them trapped inside of cave, but they're doubled up.
Who's trapping who is the question. Exorcise found out and taken down. One Fletcher will keep it back to a 2-on-2 as Scenario will fall. Maka given time to switch out for the AK, and as he starts to try and take the initial duel, Synopsy is the one he'll have to contend with first, it feels like. Elbow given up, and Maka decides it's all he needs. One Fletcher! However, never one to be discounted. He has been overshadowed somewhat ever since Rigon's come into the play, but let's not forget this guy was the OG. Back in the secret days and onwards, he is a stud.
Those kinds of situations are exactly what makes BNE one of those teams that's exciting to watch. They're good at pulling the pieces together, and GXX will connect on another piece. Rigon as well on his fight in the middle will get traded eventually, but down a man are HEET, so 4-on-3. Bomb's making its way over to A, because that's where the weakness is, and Rasmo didn't have his gun pulled, so Synopsy gets another.
Second now we've seen someone actually caught off in a position like that. Bad News Eagles are really...
pick up an AK. He thought for sure he would have been able to transition away, and Joko really wants an AK, so he'll just take it off of Synopsy instead. Oof, Molly not there quick enough. GXX already mantled and dismantles Joko. No problems here for B&E in our 6th round for them.
We have to wait to see whether HEET have got something in cars. Passivity has been paying off for them so far when Maka's on the bomb site. This time will be no different as he re-peeks back over. Time and time again, it feels like that bullet nerf was made just for him.
He just kept shooting in rhythm and didn't miss a shot when it came to players on his screen. They have got the bomb and space over towards A. They are completely boxed in though. Flank coming in quick, and I don't think GXX is going to be quite ready for an A main possession, and yeah, Exorcise will deal with him. A scenario 1-on-4, again, he's not had the hottest of games, and they are everywhere. This would be a full-on deathmatch clip if it exists. Scenario first kill, second as well. He's trying to spin all about the shot, but no one peeking him for those final bullets, so a nice effort, but no cigar. HEET will take 7. And a lot of nades exchanged. Lucky's low, so is Rasmo. Getting pressured over at the A-bomb side. Spam onto GXX is right on the money, but Rigon's finally dealt with, but Scenari's got the critical kill on A. This can pull rotations over for the CTs, and Luck is completely boxed in, so there is no safety on either side of the map. Finally, Joko trading things back, but they're unsure. Where's the real pressure coming in? Bomb's making the wrap round to A, and Maka's trying to insert himself on some level of a flank. Information can be gathered and can certainly hear the steps inside of A main. They will be here so much faster than B&E anticipate.
Exorcise. He's wondering about whether or not to actually reveal his position. Will end up doing so. Almost picks up the bomb planter before it's even down. Synopsy instead will fall later on, and as Maka peeks around the corner, he'll end it with 17. It's 8 secured and secured in style. Maka to close it all out on the flank. And with that, Heat will go through and find 8 as they take the advantage in the first half of their enemy's map pick. We'll be back with the second after a short break. To try and turn it around to the pistol round. Canary starting off with 2 flashes. Everyone else got Kevlar and weapons. One flat true though. He's got weapons in his mind and unfortunately not on his teammates. Synopsy is down and out. One flash is fully flashed and the Molotov will actually force him back as well as Scenario falls too. All 3 players on this B bomb site are completely dismantled.
Yeah, GXX will finally answer with a couple of kills rather quickly as well, and might have caught the Heat players a little bit off guard. Rasmo on the bomb site, but didn't survive for very long. Good thing is the trade came in quickly. They had
looks away for just a second. Will not matter. Getting timing. There's nothing to this man. He wears 4 different clocks on his hand because he's got timing for days.
Yeah, that's perfection there from Rigon. I mean, so conscious of a ledge swing. More conscious of the ledge swing than Exorcis's position, in fact. Still a possibility for Heat. They are making their move into A, and there's no presence here from B&E. They have been shot in the back in transition, though, and while Lucky gets one right back, he's tagged to low HP, and Rasmo, in an effort to cover Lucky off, let him get to this site. He's lost his life. 1 on 3, and Lucky has no HP to play off of. Only a singular box. That's his singular friend, and, well, he wish he had one more friend to trade.
Rigon, what a round coming out from him. The fact that he's even able to get so aggressive soon afterwards.
There have been a lot of close rounds, but we're not seeing the same level of heroics from the Frenchman on this map. Surprised GXX gets 2 kills there. Was certainly smoked off, but didn't deter him. And Rigon actually fancied his chances. So did Juan Flatru. They all start swinging and start challenging middle. Scenario was the one unaccounted for, so he's gotten his one, and he's done. He doesn't want to hover.
Like, I get it, live by the sword, die by the sword, but also at the same time, it is a 5-on-3, guys. You know? GXX is actually pushed all the way through into A main. These flashbangs will line him up nicely for what could just be a good flank to come through, but Lucky in the meanwhile spotted out. Lucky doesn't check A main at all, and now it's all about isolating down Rasmo. Feet giving up Synopsy. He's just teasing him a little bit with a bit of ankle going back Victorian era, but Rasmo, he's a man of the present and he doesn't have a future. Synopsy to take him down.
He was getting kills in Cave on that CT side. Yeah, I mean, you'd have to hope that it is Exorcise given his impact earlier on in the qualifying route, but it's just not looking likely. I mean, you see how B&E are changing things up even now. They just get so aggressive through B, and Juan Flatru is allowed to get a secondary kill. Already some instigation over on A and B simultaneously, and this was supposed to be just the default from Heat.
Yeah, and at this point now you're just hoping for heroics. The 2 players who did go down are the ones who've been having a harder time so far. Lucky, however, has been a much more reliable member of the back so far for Heat, and it feels like Goku, the only player to get some frags, will be picking up 2 nice shots initially. Markar, however, not ready for the PK from Rigon. Again, traditional flying senses cannot apply. You cannot think that I'm in a 1-on-3 and I'm not going to get peeked. This is bad news Eagles, all right? They're going to peek you.
Yeah, right times. Heat will be stopped in their tracks before they even get this hit going. Nobody else from B&E is making their way over, though. They're unsure about whether they have to commit more resources this direction. Exorcise, one-on-one fight. Juan Flatru in a cubby that's not quite as deep as it once was, but they still don't clear for it. Synopsy, a double, and Juan Flatru will also convert. Down to just Lucky and Rasmo, and it looks like this has come to a screeching halt. Bomb on floor, and they need to deal with Juan Flatru. Finally, the kill comes in, but there's no time to retrieve this bomb and get it planted. No. Tagged too much, and Rasmo, they're both clustered in on the bomb site. They just have to get these kills and make sure they didn't die after time, and they'll ensure exactly that. Still a round win for B&E, but that comes at a heavy cost.
They'll go retake it. Synopsy, however, is actually inching all the way back to CT squad, and this is where you get a little bit more worrisome if you're trying to circle back into a B split, but Exorcise will find and trade the duel out. This is where it all comes down to GXX and Scenari, who's dropped the bomb. Massive kill to find, even lets him upgrade himself, and with a flashback forward, Joko will have his progress halted. And speaking of progress being halted, no more progress towards a B bomb site to come through from CT as Rasmo's decided to try and rotate around. Scenario with the AK is going to cover off Cave, and because GXX has rotated all the way over, Scenario with a quick kill, and with 15 seconds on the clock, the bomb will be planted. 2-on-1, Joko needs to bring up the goods.
Shoulder offered, and Scenari ducking back, waiting for his teammates to rendezvous. Oh, dinking straight through the wall as well, so not a fair fight. Joko won't be able to fire off the bullets he wants to. Won't be the fight he had planned, in all honesty, but a lot of just flair that we expect. Scenari, 1 kill, won't quite cut it. Juan Flatcher a little detached, and Cave not smoked off, but a fair fight for Joko that will have him on top. Obviously, will move in to try and guard this weapon, but smoke down. Again, information gained. Rigon even sussing out Rasmo, trying to hold in on that flank, but the bomb's not even planted yet. They're actually trying to run deep CT and go and subvert their expectations, but GXX gets both on the AWP. Weren't comfortable with how much they were boxed in, and HEET get nothing. They get the entries they needed, but they don't get that plant down, and they didn't feel comfortable once B&E were all around them. Chance, it felt like. Well, Joko, because he's low HP, will try his best with the AWP. Good patience here from the French. HEET able to get a couple of kills. Rigon and Synopsy aggressing right into waiting arms. Bombshot made its way over, but they're trying to apply some presence over to A. GXX first kill there. Rasmo will punish the wide repeak there from GXX. Well, he'll finish it off altogether. 2 kills there from Rasmo, and HEET are still in it. Had to break the bank to reinvest, and, well, they'll feel a little broke after this. Boost over the smoke. Rigon won't be able to get anything for his trouble. Synopsy actually got a kill while they were trying to chase him down, but Joko's double will allow them access. GXX inside the flames, and that smoke was oh so timely. A save by the HEET smoke instead, and Rasmo doing his best efforts to section off more space. 3 on 2, and fresh smoke down at CT, fresh flash, and now a timer added.
From there, maybe even take a timeout. I feel like that would go a long way. Bothered about hunting this late into the game. Just saving 3 players seems nearly impossible after losing.
Might end up spelling their own doom to a certain degree. Juan Flatcher, very late peak, but also with that flash, able to get the isolated advantage. GXX sitting inside of the flames, and Lucky just continuously jiggle peeking. Scenari low, but finally they stabilize back to 3 on 3, but they have not won out on this battle. That investment, the heavy ones into this round, have done them no favors.
Right. This is where Scenari needs to come up clutch once again. Great timing found as XSEs is going to be taken down, but it's also Synopsy. Rasmo with the double. And I have to say, if there was ever a moment to rue your decisions of purchasing, I think this might be it. Synopsy coming in from the side. Bombs being tapped, but before it is, pulls out a grenade. Oh my days. Every single poor decision you could put together, along with a couple of fluked missed shots.
Buys. That's the historical truth, and we'll have to see whether that history repeats itself. HEET, very quick into A, and no real presence. GXX already gunned down in Synopsy's section by the smoke. Lucky's shot straight through it. It doesn't matter. They're pulling out nades right in front of them, and HEET look destined to go to overtime. Lucky, another double, but Rigon's the last man standing. 1 on 3 now to bring us through to a second map win for B&E.
But Rigon, one last chance in regulation, a chance that evades him. Exorcist to shut him down, puts down the Eagles, stops their flight, and we've got to stop the time as we're off to a break before we can continue through with this riveting overtime.
Doesn't want an unfair advantage, doesn't want to get spammed. Gotta keep your wits about you. Could set up for a double peek into cave. Juan Flatcher inside the little subsection. Hard to see if you're lucky. Not even on the jump peak.
Oh, never mind. Juan Flatcher. Flame out, but he's flame on. First frag found, but Joko quick to trade in through that smoke. Does he realize there's a second player? Scenari's not normally been playing in this angle, but Joko must have spotted out just the thought of a leg.
I think just the fact that there was
smoke. He's missed out on the timing. XSEs has moved past, but it will be the adjustment from Rigon there regardless, and will bring it right back over. Synopsy, in the meanwhile, getting aggressive, straight back down under towards the ledges, and this play is marvelous. It is marvelous! Joko found out, eliminated, but the flank will be... Oh! Does he check that? Rigon just pulls out the deagle, turns around, and Maka... Oh my god.
I don't get it. I mean, little delayed, so Gonna be lucky they didn't lose that fight. Nades do a lot of damage. Cave players brought to 45 a pop, and Juan Flasher whiffing every bullet. Joko and Lucky get away with their lives, and a double.
Huh?
Okay, well, short-lived. Lucky died to his own Molotov.
This is a pendulum of emotions going on over here. GXX somehow misses a sitter as well. Guys, get your act together. Which one is it going to be? Marco will not be missing out as Rigon was thunderfooting forward. There was plenty of audio cues given up, and in the meanwhile, XSEs has found Synopsy as well.
There was going to be a chance back into this round. That was it right there, and it's been missed. GXX getting another instead onto XRC. So that's the A player, at least the one last seen, and this is a small exploitation. Flashed Maka off, and GXX is closing in on that gap. Smoke as well onto Maka's AWP. Can cross. There's a massive gap. Maka thinks he's gone all the way through, so GXX gets a freebie. So one-on-one here with the newbie of HEET. Rasmo inside the side and sitting around the other side of the cave. GXX may think he's taken a more passive approach. A super open plant, and GXX has no idea. So this will be a second round for HEET on their T side. Now we transition to a CT side that HEET did well on. Well, Synopsy has found a little bit of open space. Marco's going to pick this up rather quickly, and all about whether or not he anticipates this AWP to be so close. Yeah, Synopsy seems to be aware, but Marco's quick on the trigger. Found a peek before that Molotov did too much damage. 30 HP remains on him, but now under pressure will be Rasmo. Another one that came under a little bit of scrutiny. Missed out on some chances, but really pulled it together on that T side. Rasmo doubled. They weren't looking the right direction, and GXX cannot trade. That Smoke, a fresh one at that, blooms at his feet, and Rasmo could just wait for rotates. Well, could have waited, but round that Smoke, he will die. Still 1-on-3 for, and this is a hard position. The Smoke won't last forever.
By the time it dissipates, so GXX is hoping to have actually gained enough control, but he's turned around, he just ducks down. Look at the awareness of this man. He's played this spot a million times over in his head, but the problem is it's all... Oh my goodness, he's gotten the first no-scope. Will not come through with any follow-ups, but...
A move away.
He's retreating. The plot thickens, but oh, he's gone right back. He's gone right back and he gets legged. Okay. Okay. All right. That's more like it.
Yeah. That's what you thought would happen, just a little later.
Yeah. But juke us out. Synopsy in the meanwhile. But Maka low, but Maka just pulls out the 5-7. And he fights his way out of there. Lucky.
Didn't see.
All in the meanwhile, A1 spotted out. Juan Fratchu had the gap and the smoke to work off of. And in the meanwhile, XSEs has gone and said good night as well. Maka 1-on-3 without HP. Good for a kill. Oh my god. Guys, please. I'm begging you. Oh, there is nothing to be gained here. And Maka is the only one who stands to get something out of this. Taking another peek forward, smoking himself off. He's giving himself a real chance in Teneri. Oh, he's been tagged as well. Maka trying to spray back. 4 HP on the man. Maka's gone and done it. Nothing will stop him. You've got the peaks right there, but no. The time. That's what holds him back. Oh, my goodness. Guys, please, for God's sake. It's a 3-on-1. A 3-on-1.
It is mental. Good here from the CT side. Rigon already down to 41. Trying to play up close. Uh-oh. Cave's going to be under siege. Lucky's close with the AWP. First kill's there. Almost ducks away, but scenario double. And Maka's going to have to pick this one up quite quickly or aggress forward. Or the least likely, the two options. But making sure that the A is completely siphoned.
Thinking, how did we get that advantage back?
Open plant here for GXX. Yeah, they're giving them space. They don't want to fall into any weird shenanigans, going for hunts. Rasmus's going to be here so fast and can already clear positions before his teammates rendezvous.
Exact. Glenn out the backside already knows where most of these players are going to be coming over from. Smoked off the angle now as well, but that smoke is going to be dissipating soon. HEET will close it out. 19 rounds on the board. Gotta say, Bad News Eagles have chucked away advantage after advantage, and they're going to be regretting it. But now it's time to see what the decider holds for us. We're going to be back after a break to continue on with the map.
We'll have to see how things go out. Rigon very quickly out towards the A bomb site, but they're actually getting clustered up. The smokes aren't doing them many favors either. Flashes as well onto their own teammates, and Exorcist has already dealt with one, only for Rigon to answer back, but now a flurry of frags come in for B&E. 2-on-3 for the post plant.
Come through, pairs it up with the mark of flashbang, and as soon as the peak will come forward, they will find absolutely nothing. The T side, having cleared out the entirety of the bomb site, will now move into a reface. One flat to lead the shots, and Synopsy to follow through, and some flub shots from one end means that Synopsy will be able to finish it off on the other.
The jiggle bullets came quickly afterwards. Rigon's got his kill over at B all the meantime, though. Lucky will be left to his own devices over at B, and Exorcist gets there a little too late to do much of anything. Smoke down, bombs still far away from this bomb site.
Saw coming out from HEET in the first map as well. Marker, I mean that 1-on-3 there where he got all 3 kills but couldn't defuse, one to mine in particular. Obviously a lot easier to try and go for those in overtime when you've got money for days.
Naka feels like a dead man walking. Scout shots keep getting missed, and Scenario will even go in for the shank, so extra money in the pocket. That was all he really wanted to do with the MAC-10, but does so, well, much better.
Inside, the Flames has been heavily tagged, and that's information given up as a result of it. 1:10, and the leg shot will mean Maka's death is nigh. Erasmo, the only one to actually find a frag, and I don't think they've realized that Synopsys moved fast, but with the CT players on B that far back, it is easy enough for Exorcist to come through and pick up the few kills that were still there. Bomb left behind in apartments, and that gives them time to rotate back on closer to the bomb site itself, but GXX will have a plant nonetheless.
Full 10-second defuse, and they smoked out the apartment, so this is awkward. Nade won't make it, and neither will the molly in time. Tried to win out by utility, but just too detached, and very well done from HEET to also limit his options to deploy it. Uh-oh, Synopsys passed, and they smoke CT. Joko, they know he was last seen round the backside of this smoke. Not really anything they can do to contest this. Might even try and build the boost late in, but no, Spam's actually right on the money. Lucky doing most of the damage, but Joko finishing off the frag, and a 4-on-3 where these smokes won't last forever. B&E don't have any more utility to help stall as well. Only a singular Molotov that remains after the bloom of the coffin smoke, but HEET have time to play with. No kit once again, but they've got utility to limit options.
Yeah, this is going to be a real hard time for Scenario as he's forced back into peeking forward into 3 players. Synopsy does give him a whole lot of space with a quick goal triple. GXX is just there to put the cherry out on top, but Synopsy's the man who's really made the whole cake. Company already having rotated over. There are 4 CTs here, so somehow it is a 4-on-3 potentially. Bad News Eagles started to push forward. Well, that's what happens. Rasmo picks up the first. The boost is dismantled, and Exorcist isn't done yet. Leaves Rigon all alone at the bottom of Banana. He may have the bomb, but he doesn't have a chance.
Oh. Yeah, Lucky wasn't scared. Knew he did so much damage the first swing round. Rigon wrap into the A bomb site. Lucky will be here in time to at least show some presence. Spam will connect on Rigon, but they've slowed to a halt here, B&E.
That's not going to be doing them any favors either. Fortunately, they will be able to avoid damage, but Rigon is gone. He is pushing in through the smoke. One flasher as well, as Scenari are caught trying to dip in their toes to the CT spawn, and Synopsy, buddy, you don't know it, but you're really just already dead. The bomb being tapped in, the digits being punched, and he's being punched out.
B&E slowed to a halt. Going through that arch smoke was certainly a risk, but one that doesn't pay off for them. Full-on crunch. This is going to really test both Erasmo and Exorcist.
Exorcist worried about a pop through the smoke, and he would be right to worry about it, but there aren't any flashes that he's turning around from. Picks up a quick double. Rasmo needs to hold down the line. Scenari being tagged up, but he's done his job and distracted while the bomb is planted, so at the very least an extra bit of cash infusion to come through, but what they need is a bullet infusion to the CT side, and that is one IV that it doesn't feel like will be connecting anytime soon. Flashbang there, Scenari. Good kill. GXX with a follow-up does bring it back to a 2-on-2. Scenari still with a chance in it. Maka is just going to try and stick out the defuse. The question is he going to get it completely? Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Scenario had to do a double take there. He saw the wires just fancy the peek down second middle. B&E forward, front side, smoke, and Rigon's close by. Lucky prepared for that fight, but Rigon just completely bypasses him, and Joko's left alone as a secondary player here in Exorcise, and the nades won't do a whole lot for them. In fact, more damage to CTs than the other way around. 4-on-4 for the post plant, but giving it an attempt.
Come all you can, but Rasmo comes in from the side. Synopsis has been knocked out cold, and the last very last 10 seconds of it, they're still trying to go for it. GXX will just be able to play it out and make sure that no one can actually scale back onto the bomb site, but he will lose his life in the process of doing so. Heat, at the very least, contain them to the point where they're actually...
But no, playing together and clustering up, that was the plan. Fast to be they are this time, and Joko's unexpected flash from scenario actually doing more harm than good. Lucky will keep them at bay as well with the smoke deployed and has reinforcements en route. They've sectioned them off.
I kept up, but Synopsis actually discovered him, and he has found the kill immediately, going in for a second. Rasmo, the only one who can seem to fight back in this position, and as the smoke will bloom, Synopsis will not stop, not anytime soon. Exorcist is left alone in the 1-on-2. Michael, this is looking like the direst of circumstances for Heat are assembling and coming together. Double Molotov out. He might have picked up all the doohickeys he can, but this round is looking impossible, especially when Synopsis comes out and just pulls together a quad kill, single-handedly taking over the entire B bomb site.
Offered up half a body, but makes no connection. Oh, perfect.
Oh, that's just egregious to even try and push through the smoke after you've been grenaded down. That's asking for it.
Absence over at the Archers, but yeah, they just didn't know that Exorcist was going to be so ready for a play like that. Certainly a gamble, but one that does not pay off. Scenario will try his best to piece as much as he can together, but oh, out with a flash and out of the round.
You got that?
Mm-hmm.
Rasmo, Molotov to go down close to Synopsis. He's going to be forced out, but he takes the duel and wins him out. Double over. Exorcist is pulling out the knife. Oh my days, if anything could be more egregious than that. It's the missed shots of Joko. Lucky is in a 1-on-5, no chance here whatsoever. He is really just begging for death, and it will be delivered. 9-6, Bad News Eagles extend the lead in a way we were not ready for, but are they ready for what the second half has in store? We'll find out after a short break.
Their horizons, Heat trying to just find all the building blocks, and hell, they might have found a good piece. Rasmo's been fairly consistent this whole series and opens up this pistol round rather swimmingly. Rigon as well will chance his fate and doesn't get anything for his troubles. A 5-on-3, and the remaining players on the CT side were converged at B.
And as they start to inch forward, Rasmo just needs to make sure he isn't just cut off while he tries to buy time for Exorcise by jiggling through. Exorcise able to strike through, and yeah, GXX will save. Suneri's actually not got armor, so it's funny to see him going back to try and save, even if he does end up going down regardless. Make sure you don't end up falling down to these deagles and just tripping over yourself while you do so. Synopsis, grenade at his feet will make it a little bit more difficult. He was a tyrant in the entries earlier on, but this time over with just a pistol, it's significantly less opportunities for him to actually be able to strike in and strike through. GXX, however, as he's rotated over, was hoping to find a wallbang. If Marker had gone down, that becomes a lot more interesting. Recon in the meanwhile will fall.
Think what could have been, what should have been.
Is feeling like he can take a peek over, like he can take a gander. He should feel a bit more scared about it. Well, flashbang through, and Joko was really relying on these players being blinded out. Scenario, though, playing the perfect anti-flash position, and GXX to cover off one. Waits for the smoke to bloom. It will be missing up, but that forces him to re-peek in. A re-peek that Marco was ready to intercept. One flash through, though, right behind them all. He's good for the first, looks for the second, but it's Lucky who overruns and overwhelms. One Flatchy did not wait for the digits to be punched in first. Instead, just takes the duels and will not win them out, at least not both of them. On. Once again, here's the digits being punched in, and now it's all down to him in a 1-on-1. Rasmo on the other side just strafes in and takes it home. Heat up to 10.
Yeah.
Nearby, actually, to this B-bomb site hit, which is where HEET have been concentrating a lot of those attacks at. And that grenade's going to be very timely, very well placed, slows them down a fair bit. But the problem is Synopsys' life is already forfeit by the time it comes into play. One Flatcher with a quick tap through with a 5-7. As Scenari lies beside the smoke, but not inside it. There is another headshot to connect. One Flatcher even gets for more. It's 3 located and found. And with an AK picked up, suddenly things are getting a lot more dangerous. Rigon as well has now made his way over, being boosted up, and he finds another Rasmo's position already known. They are going to try and double peek across even the jumping position, but Rasmo has been spectacular. Nothing can stop him. He has been a blessing in disguise for the HEET side. Ready for the full site hit this time over, trying to posture back over to A instead. Rigon is here to intercept. He's good for the double before he straight it out. And with this, Rasmo needs to come into effect, but not in the way he was on the B-bomb side. This is much more about the late round presence he's able to display to keep One Flatcher down and out, who's somehow on the right bomb site every single time, it seems like. Lucky, last man left alive, and in a one-on-one with the bomb still down, retrieve the AWP, and he's aware of Synopsys' shenanigans and games, but as he fades back over, will give up the sound cue. Synopsy not committing into the full swing yet. Lucky goes forward. Someone's been given up, and Lucky just keeps on winning. Quad kill. This time out over for him. HEET have got all the saviors in the one-on-ones.
I mean, all these clutches. It feels like they're just being chained round to round.
Choco. Getting aggressive. Flashbang down under. Choco. Well, he's actually already lost out a teammate. Choco doesn't realize he's playing nearby. One Flatcher with a double. Goes ahead and he's just able to pick them all up, and suddenly Bad News Eagles are going to find their first in a way where you start to think, how did they ever even lose any? Meanwhile, though, this will be a much faster play this time over with the lack of weaponry to actually spur them on. And they are actually going through their own smokes. And this is going to be all the way fast forward. One Flatcher covered off by Rigon, but he's been spotted out inside the bomb site. These pistols are trying to isolate the duels, but duels that are not going their way at all. Rigon comes up big with the triple, and it's given Synopsy time to push through the smoke as well. Lucky to recover the A4, but as he dodges out grenades, he won't realize there's only 4 bullets left in it. He's going to be forced back on the reload. Scenari trying to close the distance. It's a one-on-one and twice over. Did isolate the duels and get the headshot as well, but unfortunately just isn't enough at the end of the day.
Scenari just kept pushing.
Let's not forget, this is their big chance to try and punish out the shenanigans from the previous round as well. Synopsy will be able to chain them together. Some beautiful sprays coming out, but it is still going to be a 3-on-3. The T side with plenty of time and some utility as well.
Very thinly spread here on the B&E side. Scenari's not moved a muscle since, and GXX's ult will be forced back. They've lost their handle on this bomb site, and it's not going to really click, or they're not really going to clock on here on the HEET side until a little too late. These smokes aren't going to last forever, and that Molotov is buying more time for the B&E side to regroup.
He's trying to cover off while the bomb is being planted, and he's going to be able to come through, find the double. GXX was initially the player left to try and anchor out the B bomb side, is still alive, and he is. Oh my god, if he's able to stick this one, not again. He can't get away with it every single time. Almost. But almost isn't good enough. 14 for HEET.
Major is coming up. If this starts an upward trend, it would certainly be something. SMG from Scenari does find Joko, and Rasmo and Lucky will trade even. One apiece. They are low HP on Lucky, so they're not counting their chickens just yet, but a 4-on-3 advantage. This will again stretch out the defenses of B&E. And
juggling back to the B bomb side and this rotation. Bad News Eagles. Oh no. This is still going to be a commitment to A, and they might end up being caught off, but the question is, are they going to be found out and wrap around to the back of B? The bomb is yet to commit, and they are getting unsure, they're getting uncertain. GXX has got long-range angles with the Deagle, needs to start hitting some shots while One Flatcher is ducked away, and he finds nothing. Absolutely nothing whatsoever. Time may have ticked low, but it's ticked out as well for the Bad News Eagles. Rasmo to finish it all out, and this will be the 16th. What a way to come through and do it. This is absolutely fantastic stuff coming out from the HEET side. I did not expect them to be able to clean this one through, especially after what we saw on that first map. They're on that pick.
Yeah, and even that last call, I mean, I was nervous for HEET there because they seemed to make the right decision. Then they bounce right back into almost the wrong one.